Hi, my name is Meg Hamilton. I am Environmental Manager at Stellenbosch University and a member of the Green Committee on the Tygerberg campus. Today we are going to talk about water, and specifically water in the landscape and how we use water in the landscape. At the same time looking at biodiversity and how this plays a role in water conservation. Water is everywhere, in and around us, in liquid, solid and gas form. Take a minute just to consider how wonderful water truly is. Just think of those sparkling dams along that special walk that you take in the morning, or ice cubes clinking in the glass on a hot day, or the rain feeding our gardens. Fresh water is a limited resource, and in South Africa, where the average rainfall is well below average of 850 millimeters worldwide, the amount of water available for human consumption and agriculture is reducing rapidly due to population explosion and the wasteful and pollution practices of society. So what is the role of water in the landscape? We know that it is there to feed the plants, but what about what happens under the ground, in the soil? Recently, landscape architects are looking more and more at the hydrological cycle relevant in all the sites which they landscape. The previous landscapes of water-demanding plants are no longer an option, as these affect not only the water balance but the water quality as we fertilize and apply pesticides to these plants. The Tygerberg campus is situated in the Cape Flats Dune Fynbos vegetation biome with predominantly loose, uncompacted sand over a bedrock of Malmesbury shale. This is located on what historically would have been Cape Flats Sant Fynbos on acid sands. This used to be the most widespread veld type in Cape Town, and although it's not important for agricultural grazing, it was easily drained and suitable for housing. Therefore, due to rapid urbanization, most of this vegetation type has been eradicated. With only 15% left, it is now critically endangered, and only 5% of this 15% is in good condition. There are two main reasons why Stellenbosch University selected to redevelop the landscape along endemic lines, besides the natural beauty of the fynbos, namely biodiversity and water. The Cape Flats Sant Fynbos is naturally adapted to the seasons, and the water requirements of the plant species is adapted to handle the dry summers and wet winters. For the university, it means that less irrigation will need to be applied in the summer months, and the landscape can manage the wet feet in the winter. With regard to biodiversity, we need to conserve and restore as much of these natural ecosystems as we can, not only for its own sake and for future generations, but to allow the establishment of green corridors in the urban sprawl for birds and fauna to move and maintain the many benefits these habitats offer to humankind, including an improved quality of life and health through the many ecosystem goods and services they provide. They also result in less pesticides being used, as the natural predators of these pests are present in these ecosystems over time. This is an example of working with nature to promote the benefits of natural environment instead of trying to maintain exotic, high water demanding species. This initiative also adds to the university's conservation goals by the ongoing introduction of more Cape Flats Sant Fynbos and other rare plant species when these can be found, and the putting into practice of educational signage and footpaths. This creates an environment unique to Tygerberg and enhances the Tygerberg identity as a green campus. Cape Flats Sant Fynbos is a fynbos type consisting of a dense, moderately tall, ericoid shrubland containing scattered emergent tall shrubs. Protea and Restio fynbos are dominant, and your Asteraceae and Erica fynbos occurring in the drier areas. Annuals and bulbs are prominent in the spring. Representatives of as many species that were commercially available were planted on the Tygerberg campus, and more species get added with new landscapes that are developed and become available through nurseries or other organizations. Trees, however, which are not natural to the fynbos, are selected according to their hardiness and aesthetic qualities. All new landscapes on the Tygerberg campus are restricted to using the plant list of species supplied by the University of Stellenbosch. The idea behind the Eco Walk was for a campus users to be able to stroll or jog around the campus along a trail set in amongst the Cape Flats Sant Fynbos, which extends around the complete perimeter of the campus. So far, about 1 kilometer of the trail will be completed when the landscape around the Stag 3 complex is completed. As new buildings get built, the same specifications are maintained, with the aim of all garden areas being 100% Cape Sant Fynbos in the near future. The value of the natural landscape is not only in the beauty which we can enjoy, but in the natural biodiversity and the awareness it creates in terms of what is endemic to this area around which Tygerberg is situated. In terms of water, the savings that we get by not having to water during the summer months because these plants are adapted to that environment is invaluable, as well as the fact that we are not going to lose huge quantities of plants due to the very wet winters that we would normally lose if we had used exotic species. So what can you do as a Tygerberg student when you are out here enjoying the eco walk and smelling the smells and seeing the plants, is keep an eye open for the different species of butterflies and birds, and if you can, take pictures and send those to us, as well as just keep an eye open if you see water leaking or anything, paths that are broken or anything that is not working 100%, and report it to facilities management so we can make sure that this system remains ecologically sound.